Aloha everyone, it's Slavey, your friendly neighborhood Hesher, and welcome to the Hesh Files, a place where I interview musicians about all of the strange and unusual things that they see out on the road. So strap on your best high tops, ease the seat back, and get ready to be a metaphorical fly on the wall because we're going Heshin'. Aloha everyone, Slavey, your friendly neighborhood Hesher, and welcome back to another episode of the Hesh Files, a place for us to get weird and seek out some strange. Today's guest is the lovable and most extraordinarily handsome Todd Smailes from Suburban Life. And fun fact about Todd, he's the guy behind the fly. He came up with and made the fly logo. So every time you see the Hesh Files, you're seeing Todd's work. So Todd, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. What are you doing these days? Who are you playing with right now?
I'm in a band called Suburban Life right now, and we started in January of last year. We recorded a 4-song EP that was released digitally last week or maybe a few weeks ago. And then the vinyl will be coming out. I think we're going to do a 12-inch EP that will hopefully be coming out before the year's over. And I've been playing in bands. So yeah, very exciting.
You know, the vinyl cat in me is definitely intrigued and excited about that. I love to hear that you're pressing it on wax. I mean,
yes, sir.
That's great.
Very exciting.
Yeah, my wife and I were actually just talking recently about how, it's like I wanted to get a bunch of records from like when we were in high school, things that were, I'll date myself here, but popular in the early 2000s there. And I was looking some of that stuff up. Most of it was never pressed on wax. It just never was. And I mean, so there's some reissues and some stuff you can find, but there's a lot of stuff out there that just never got printed.
That period of time was the quote death of vinyl. That's when all the labels started just doing CDs.
Right.
And I mean, you saw, especially independent bands, they just started doing CDs and the MP3 thing. So if you bought vinyl, I was buying a ton of vinyl back then too. But I mean, I scored. I made out like a bandit because a lot of people sold their punk stuff.
Yeah.
And they updated to CDs. And so, yeah, a lot of bands did not have vinyl. It's a total bummer.
Right. It is a bummer. So, I mean, I'm super glad to hear that you guys are doing that. That's awesome. Can't wait to throw one in my collection.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the label, they reached out and they said they'd press it. And they didn't even hear the album or songs yet.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was a good sign.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's comforting.
Yeah, definitely happy to hear that. Let's just get into it. Let's get weird, man. So you and I were talking earlier, and you said that you have a journal, actually, of your very first tour from 2001.
Yes.
Now, who was that band, or what was that band, I should say?
This tour was with a band called Big in Japan. And Big in Japan was, I'm dating myself now, it was Zach, from the lead singer from a band called Zoinks, who were mid-90s to late 90s. They were from Reno, Nevada. And then these two guys, Corky and Joey, who were in a band called The Gain from Simi Valley.
Okay.
They were kind of a pop-punk thing again, mid-90s, late 90s. They started this band called Big in Japan, very power pop, Elvis Costello style.
Nice.
Rock. A lot of people compare it to Foo Fighters, although I don't hear it at all. Maybe musically, but that's about it. And we were on a Fat Records subsidiary called Honest Don's Records.
Nice.
And that was Honest Don's that was kind of a more poppier, not as punk subsidiary of Fat. So yeah, I'm able to say I was on Fat Records, and we toured a shit ton, and I did some humongous shows. This tour from '01, this was our very first U.S. tour. It was a 6-week U.S. tour.
That's nothing short. That's huge.
Yeah, this was a big one. And it's funny because before we set out on this tour, my only experience being on the road, quote unquote, was reading Henry Rollins' Get in the Van, which is an absolute read. It's a great read and a nightmare terror story if you ever hope to go out on tour. I mean, much different times, but yeah, that was my prep to go on the road. So then when I actually did go on tour, it was just like, oh, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Know, but yeah, this was a full US tour. Played with some pretty big bands, I guess, but I think they're all regional. I played the Press Club in Sacramento the very first time on that tour.
That's a great venue. I love that
Yeah.
place.
And in fact, I played there before the new layout existed.
Really?
I the first time I played there, when you walked into the front door, the stage was straight ahead.
Okay.
And that was the whole room. And then now I played there a few years ago, and yeah, there's a whole nother side room now
Right, right.
where the stage is. So when I played there, it was just one small room.
Wow.
Yeah, this was in 2001, early
Okay.
2001.
If you have any pictures of that,
Yeah.
I would definitely love to see those. I mean, I know some of my other friends would really appreciate seeing some old press club pictures. Great venue.
Oh, I'll have to look because I think I did take a picture of the sign. I mean, those were film photos, dude.
Yeah.
That's that's how old that door is. So I'll have to I'll have to look for those because I'm sure I'm sure I did it. But yeah, man, that was my baptism on being on the road, and it was one of the best times that I had.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, 6 weeks on the road with your friends.
6 weeks.
So where exactly did you guys go? I mean, where did you start, and what was kind of the path that you guys took?
Oh, it's so rad because I have the map printout right in front of me. We started in Corona at the Showcase Theater, and we played with an old Epitaph band called Oscar.
Okay.
And they were kind of like, okay, do you remember them?
I do remember Oscar.
Yeah. No, I really liked their album when it came out, but on that night I found out they're kind of dicks. They trashed the guest room for the other bands. So that was kind of messed up.
I think we just got to make a PSA right here that if you're on tour, never do that. Never fuck with the venue like that. Never destroy the green room or whatever for, sure, you might be on tour or whatever, but so are other bands, and don't ruin it for them. Have your fun, do your thing, but have fun together. You're there together, have fun.
Yes. Yeah, it was very disheartening.
Yeah.
And ultimately I think they had a few issues. I think it was a lead singer thing. I think he had a lot of problems. So anyway, we did Corona, and then we basically, it looks like we went up the West Coast to Portland. We did 2 shows in Portland on one day. That was a rarity.
Wow.
We played Reno, then Vegas, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Omaha, Nebraska. We played a place called the Cog Factory.
Okay.
Green Bay, Wisconsin, and then Illinois, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey. New York got canceled. That was a real bummer. Philadelphia got canceled because no one showed up. That's a true story. Long Island, we were supposed to play with a guy called Adam and his Package.
I remember that.
Yes.
And
I was thrilled when we booked it. And then, we found out a couple of days before it got canceled. And then, Baltimore, Virginia. Then we hit up a ton of towns on the East Coast, and then 6 days in Florida, and then Texas, and then ended in Arizona at the Nile Theater.
Wow. Yeah, that's a hell of a tour. I mean, a lot of times when people, go across the country and back, it's not all the way north up the coast, then kind of back down towards Texas, and then kind of back up, and then east, and then south, and then west. That's a journey.
So what was funny, because the only reason we did this tour is because one of the bands that came with us, Quick Step Maneuver, they were from Houston, Texas. They were an indie band, and they asked us, if we book you guys a 6-week U.S. tour, can we open for you? And we were on Fat Records, and so Zach asked Fat Mike, and Mike said, yeah, sure, like 6 weeks booked, yeah, go for it. And we got guarantees every night.
Rad.
And so this kid Andrew booked the entire U.S. tour, pretty damn good routing, and I mean, again, that was my baptism, and it was one of the best times of my life.
Oh,
I believe
incredible.
And I barely knew these dudes in the band, actually. I didn't know Zach, and I knew the guys in the game from my old band. So I was kind of getting to know these guys, but I was so young and excited.
Yeah.
That every day, I'm waking up in a different city, about to play a show, and then leave for another city.
Yeah.
And I was 26 years old, so I was just in the prime. I was
Incredible.
Great time.
So let's talk a little bit more about that tour. I mean, so it was 2001. You went everywhere, basically.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of what's the weirdest roadside attraction you think you saw while you were out there?
Oh, fudge. 2001. Oof. We did drive through Roswell.
Okay. Tell me about that.
And it was way more commercialized than I ever could have anticipated. I mean, there's Martians, there's these man-made Martian paper mache and statues and sculptures littered throughout the city. Come to our liquor store.
It's out of this world.
Yeah. I mean, all the puns involved. It was funny. We didn't go inside any establishments or anything. We just drove through. But I mean, that town is a roadside attraction.
Right.
So I mean, it was just surreal. It was surreal because it's almost like another town's making fun of Roswell. That's what it
Right,
seems.
right. But it's them doing it on
Them
their
promoting it.
own.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I mean, I think they're chains like McDonald's, maybe that even had Martian like paraphernalia. Yeah. I mean, everything was outside of that. Oh, I think we drove past the Prada. Have you seen the Prada shop? Have you heard about this?
No, I don't think so.
Was it up back then? Oh, there's in Marfa,
Okay.
Texas, on a lone strip in the middle of nowhere. An artist constructed a Prada storefront with actual Prada stuff inside, and it's all locked.
Wow.
Yeah, no one's working, but there's shelves in there, and it's showing Prada, and there is nothing else around. It's a Prada store in the middle of nowhere on the side of the road in glass, so you can see the shoes. And it looks like a proper store, and someone just locked up for lunch. But yeah,
That's wild. So it's
yeah,
just I guess that would qualify it as an art exhibition, I
yeah, I don't,
guess.
yeah, because an artist did it, and it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I wish I still, I wish I knew about it beforehand, but I wish I'd stumbled on it because I don't know what I would have thought. That would have been pretty gnarly.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing to just see in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I don't know what I would think if I saw that. I would probably be a little concerned.
It's kind of apocalyptic, because
Yeah,
again, there's nothing else around, and it's through Texas, so it's just all flat. And yeah, it's you can I think you can see it on Google Maps. I think it's Marfa, Marfa. I think it's
okay.
something like that.
Marfa, yeah,
Incredible.
I'm gonna have to look that up and see if I can find some pictures of that because that's just too weird not to put up. But I mean, and
Yeah.
speaking of Texas, I mean, can we just like mention for a second how unbelievably long it takes to drive from one side of Texas to the other side?
Oh,
You don't
that
really think about how big that state is
that was.
until you're
Yeah.
driving through it east to west.
And then all the cool cities are vertical, north and south. So you drive, you're coming in from the West Coast. You start in one city, you drive down, blah blah blah, and then you leave the bottom. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
And that humidity there.
Oh my God.
And let's be honest, Austin is the only happening city. And I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm pretty sure we can safely say that Austin might be the most happening place. If you're gonna go to Texas, go to
You have
Austin.
to go to Austin.
Yeah,
That show didn't start till I think 11 p.m. That's just they roll so different there.
yeah,
I played there a few times too. Yeah, Austin goes off.
yeah. Austin is great. I was there for South by in
Oh wow.
2009, 10,
Mm.
something like that. I don't even remember exactly what it was, but it was cool because the label got us there, and it was one of those things where we could either get paid for playing or whatever, or we could get free wristbands for the whole time that we were there and just go to whatever we wanted to.
Oh.
So we were like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. We're taking the wristbands, and we just got to go. I mean, like kids in a candy shop, essentially. I mean,
Oh, hell yeah.
South by with free reign to go see and do anything you wanted was probably one of the coolest experiences ever.
Yeah, that's because I just had a backstage pass at one festival. You had it for
All of
I
it.
mean, that's pretty rad.
Yeah, I know it was definitely very cool. So when you were on that tour, were you collecting vinyl at that point? I know that was the low point of vinyl, like we just said, but I guess where I'm going with this is where were some cool record stores? I mean, did you see any good record stores while you were out there? Where is one that you saw randomly that you've never been back to that you're dreaming of going back to?
Great question. Great question. I will say yes. I was buying vinyl. I started buying vinyl in the '90s when I started buying music and stuff. But I was buying CDs and cassettes and vinyl and all that. And that tour, oh man, I bought so much vinyl, and it was
Hell
tough
yeah.
because you can't really put it anywhere outside of the van.
Nope.
So you just hope to God no one messes with your stuff. And to be honest, the most valuable records I got on that tour, I got from Fat Records because whenever we'd go to San Francisco, we played there all the time, and they were very gracious and very generous, and they'd always invite us over to their warehouse and their offices, and they'd buy us lunch, and we would we'd sit with there were only like 7 employees there, and Fat Mike too, and Aaron, his ex-wife was there, and we just sit around and have burritos.
Hell yeah.
And they go, oh yeah, when you guys are done, the warehouse, just go in the warehouse, pick out whatever you guys want.
Damn.
But, I mean, it was nuts. And really, they said, take whatever you want. And then, fortunately, 2 times I went there. One time they asked, oh, do you guys want the Me First and the Gimme Gimmes box set coming out?
Yes.
And I said, oh, yeah, I love the, sure. And I think I was the only one in the band to get one. And so that's a very valuable, thing. And then another time we got there, and coincidentally, they just got the shipment of the first pressing of Propagandi's Today's Ashes, Tomorrow's Empires, or vice versa.
Okay.
Today's Empires, Tomorrow's Ashes, on red vinyl. And so that's
Nice.
a very valuable record too.
Yeah.
But both of those were given to me by the label.
That's amazing.
So I nothing but love for Fat Records. But record stores, the best one I went to was Wax Tracks in Chicago. I found some great records there. I've never been back.
Okay.
But yeah, that was oof. I got some great stuff there. I
That
still have the
was
price tags on my records.
nice. That was you said Wax Tracks in Chicago.
Wax Tracks, yeah,
That's a
in
great
Chicago.
name. Great name for a record store.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I think Wax Tracks Records. I think it was part of their branch or something like that.
Okay.
And I found a Palehead record, and that was Ian MacKaye and Al Jorgensen from Ministries
Damn.
Union. And that's one of the most intense. That's a great. It's like a 45 or an EP or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna come over later, and we're gonna spin that for sure.
Oh yeah, I got some great stuff at that store. But that's why you go on tours. You go into town, you look for a record store, you hang out there, and then you go to the venue, get there all early.
Yep.
And then you just wait, and then you play. I mean, that's the drill. And yeah, I've toured the U.S. I don't know how many times now, 5, 6 times now, and I love it every single time.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's freedom on your own terms. I mean, it's just you and your mates just going out on the road. I mean, it's the closest thing. I mean, I'm gonna say it. It's the closest thing that we can get to being pirates. In the modern age.
I mean, I can't think of a more appropriate person to say that. Also, no, but and that's the thing is when people say, "Oh, we're going to go on a road trip," I understand the camaraderie of a road trip, but man, when you have the added bonus of performing art that you created this thing with these guys, and now you're presenting it to a group of people that do not know you, and they're accepting it. Oh my god! And then they drop coin.
Yes.
Oh, I liked it. I'll buy a teach. Holy shit. I mean, really, if that happens once on a tour, then I feel so happy in them. If people fucking show up, that's nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's great if people show up, but I mean, I'm sure, you obviously know this, that, when you're playing shows in your hometown, it's really hard to get people to show up. And a lot of times it's just your friends that are, it's just your friends. And that's fine. That's great that they're there. Don't get me wrong. But there's something so different when somebody goes to the show, never heard you before, then they hear you, they see you. And then after the show, they're like, dude, that was rad. I want to buy a t-shirt.
Yeah. That's almost why you keep doing it, because you want an opportunity like that to happen. And ideally, again, you play a show, and that one person's touched, and they're like, "Man, that was a really good song." And every band has experienced that. So when somebody they don't know asks the band something, the whole band will get in the van after and "Hey, who were you talking to?" "Oh yeah, dude, they asked how long we were around and if we have anything out, man." "Yeah, I was talking to them for 15 minutes. They were all interested in the band."
Yeah,
and that's so exciting.
It is.
It's a bummer when that excitement is lost over time, or just bands. It is tough. It's a tough life, but
it is
when you do get those those bits of brightness, oh man, that makes it all worthwhile.
It totally does. It totally does. So I got another question here for you.
All right.
On that tour, I mean, I'm sure you guys probably did a lot of van crashing and stuff, but what was the weirdest place that you guys stayed while you were on that tour?
Oh man, on that one?
Or maybe not just that one, but what's first thing that comes to mind? What's the weirdest place that you've stayed on tour?
The first place it was actually on that tour, it was in Kansas City. We were staying at this dude's house. And it was, it was a hovel. It was just very dirty and everything. And get there. Okay, you tried. Maybe you can sleep there. And I think he's gone. Sleep on that bed. And we woke up to was at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the roof had collapsed in the living room on 3 of the band members.
Oh my god!
It was pretty fucking. It was just. I'm sorry, not the roof. I'm sorry, the ceiling.
Yeah.
So it's not like the whole structure came down, but the ceiling because it was, it's just so humid there. Anyway, I guess, but it collapsed on them.
I know
That,
exactly
yeah,
what that looks like because when I was younger, my house flooded and the
exactly.
ceiling had pooled with water and just collapsed throughout the whole house.
And we had noticed it when we got there that night. But you're going in late at night, like so you're not really paying attention. But we did notice it was pretty like in. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's fine. Like they wouldn't bring us over here if it's at risk,
Right,
obviously.
right. It's been like that forever. It's not going to collapse tonight.
But I mean, yeah. Another time we stayed in Vegas, and I was rolling up my sleeping bag, and there's a bunch of cat shit right under my sleeping bag. So evidently, I slept on cat shit. Another time in Florida, we stayed. Back in those days, we would ask. Oh, before we play our last song, if anyone could put us up tonight, we'd really appreciate it. We're a clean band. We don't do drugs. And we really would put ourselves out there, and
Yeah, you got to.
yeah, and ideally, and fortunately, someone was like, "Oh yeah, you could stay. My dad's cool with it," or
Yeah.
they're a much younger crowd. So we stayed with this girl in Florida, and it was like 6 a.m. We got there like at 3:30 a.m. And her mom had called her phone from her room and was like, "I know you brought people over. They got to leave right now." And yeah, we had to. I mean, we were on 3 hours sleep, and it was Florida summer, so it was really humid and nasty. And
Yeah.
we begged, like, "Can we please take showers?" And the mom was like, "I want them out in a half an hour." So it was two bands on tour, so it was like
Oh.
3-minute showers, meticulously
Yeah.
timed, and the shower was backed up. So the eighth person was in
Oh.
a pool of cloudy water in the bathtub. Man, and these are just things that are just popping in my head. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's just part of the fun. Like,
Right. And
you're going to do.
Yeah, it's funny how that stuff sticks with you. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think everybody that's been on tour has one of those stories where you show up at a house and an hour or two later, the parents are like, "Get the fuck out of my house," and you're just like, but we're
Yeah.
nice guys, and they're like, "I don't care, get out of my house."
They don't, and that was the thing. Is like I mean, one of the dudes had two of the dudes actually had tattoos, but I mean, we all had short hair. But yeah, no one gives the parents. All they hear is like, "Oh yeah, a band staying in our house. Get them out.
Get them
No,
out.
no, like, oh, is it a marching band? No, no, no. It's this band that played. Oh, okay, yeah, get them out of here. They're
Yeah,
not.
because for some reason, if it was a marching band, that would be better, I guess. I think for them, for
I
the
mean,
parents, it would be, I think.
basically on reputations in high school, etc.
Right, right.
Yeah. But yeah, those. I mean, we didn't do a lot of hotels.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't. You're broke. And even the money you do have, you're not going to spend it on a hotel room.
Yeah, exactly. Because we did do. Oh, we actually did really good financially on that tour, if I recall. Our guarantees were really good. The promoters lost their ass on some of those shows. There were, not a lot of people showed up, but
Ooh.
we did it. We did a tour. That same band, big in Japan. We did a tour with MXPX and a band called Gob.
Rad. I know both of those bands. I love Gob.
Okay, well, there's two Gobs. There's one from Reno and there's one from Canada.
Oh shit! Now I don't know.
So Reno is pretty death metal-y, and then the other Gob was pretty pop punky from Canada.
That's the one I think I'm thinking of.
Okay, they were great fun. So yeah, we did a tour with them, and they were so fun and so cool. And
hold on, Gob. What was the name of their big song they did? Was it something like I hear you calling for me out in the night? Man,
I was never into them, but I mean, I have two of their T-shirts from that tour still.
Damn,
it has to be the same band, dude.
Oh yeah,
because the only other we found out we got that tour. Zach knew the Gob from Reno, like the grindcore.
Okay,
and so he was like, "They're not going out with us with them." He's like, "There's no way." And sure enough, he reached out, and they're like, "No, we're not doing anything with that." And then we found out this other Gob, and yeah, they were just really silly. Their stage show was really fun.
Yeah, I just pulled them up right now. Yeah, the one I'm thinking of is definitely the Canadian band, and yeah, the name of that song was "I Hear You Calling." I remember. I don't know what movie or soundtrack or video game or something that was on, but damn, I loved that song as a kid. As far as I know, it was. I don't know how else I would have heard it back in, what was that, 20 years ago or whatever. I don't know how else I would have heard it. It must have been on some. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look this up.
I think when we went out with them, it was like their second album. I think when we went out with them. So yeah, again, this was like in 01.
I had to have gotten Gob on like a Warped Tour sampler at some point within those. That's probably what it was. I mean,
Yeah, my band was on some of those. So yeah, I can see that.
okay, you can't just gloss over that. So did you play the Warped Tour?
Oh, no. We never played the Warped Tour, but we were
Okay.
on I'm sorry, yeah, I shouldn't say Warp samplers. The Fat Record samplers that they hand
Yeah.
out at Warped Tour.
Okay.
We were on
Okay.
we were
Got it.
on a few of those. And that helped, that helped out the band too a lot. But yeah, we never did any festivals. We went to a festival because MXPX played a festival in Salt Lake called Big Day Out.
Okay.
And so because it was MXPX, they were pretty big bands. So they had laminates, so we had laminates for that tour. And so we went to the Big Day Out festival, and we just told the staff there, "Oh, we were with MXPX."
Nice.
And so we were able to go, and that's the festival I was referring to. We had
Okay.
full carte blanche, and that's actually that was the first time I saw AFI
Hell
backstage.
yeah.
Yeah, we were backstage, and that was in '01. And
that's prime AFI.
they exploded, and it was cool because their AFI came up in the same scene as Zoinks and the Game in the '90s, and in fact, those bands played together up in Northern California.
Oh wow.
And so, as a result, we see them at the show, and oh hey, what's going on? And oh hey, Davey, this is Todd. Todd, this is Davey, and everyone's friends. And stuff
No
like that.
shit.
So yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, so that was the big festival, Big Day Out. But other than that, we did not do. We were not big enough. That's
Okay.
just a fact. Yeah, we weren't big enough. And to be honest, Fat Records kind of didn't know what to do with us because we were not traditional pop punk. We sounded nothing like Fat Records bands.
Yeah.
And we were a little bit older than probably 95% of the people listening to us, because Fat would put us out on various tours. So another tour we did was with Real Big Fish and Sum 41. We went out. We did 3 dates.
No shit.
That tour, yeah. Those were easily the biggest shows. I played the Fillmore on that tour.
Wow.
In San Francisco, we played the Catalyst in Santa Cruz.
Those are we just got to give a shout out to those venues. Those are two of the most amazing venues ever.
The Fillmore was incredible. I still very vivid memory of that show because it was so big. It was so out of my purview.
Yeah.
It's just so massive. But one great memorable moment.
Hold on. I don't mean to interrupt, but so that was 2001, 2002 at the Fillmore.
Look what I found. People can't see this.
Oh my God.
This is the Fillmore. Basically this shows up backstage and it has the set list for the band.
Yeah.
Or the times. So yeah, I still have this.
You still have that. Oh my God. That's incredible. Oh my God. Yeah. You got to send me a picture of that. I got to put that one up.
Yeah, I have all the shit. I have like old notes from like fans and stuff like that. And yeah,
that's incredible to still have that stuff because I know some other guys. Memory. Well, I do too, but like I know some other guys that also have done the same thing where they just keep a box with everything in it.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I was a fucking idiot. And there are so many times I wake up and I'm like, fuck. I wish I had something from that.
Dude, equally, it's funny because I used to throw away concert tickets because I'm like, well, I know I was there.
Same.
That was my reasoning.
Yes.
Oh, I don't need to keep this. I was there.
Yeah. Like, I know I was there.
Fucking idiot.
Idiot. Yeah.
Fucking idiots. And then another tour we had done, and I'm sorry for people who can't, maybe you can edit this out, who knows. These are from Mr. T Experience's tour we did in 2001. And this was right before, this was right after 9/11. This was November 2001. So we did a tour with MXPX in late September 2001.
Okay.
And then we did the the Mr. T Experience we did in November. And yeah, these are all the booking and contacts. And here's a screen printed flyer from Salt Lake City at Kilby Court.
Damn.
Mr. T Experience. So yeah, I kind of hoard all this stuff just because I have a terrible memory. Yeah, but it's so fun to look through fucking 20-something years later.
I believe it.
Yeah, like I said, I've done tons of touring outside of this, but when you do look back, when you stop and look back, just like Ferris Bueller said, John Lennon said, if you don't stop to look around.
But it's true though. As cliche as it is, we've all seen Ferris Bueller, and if you're listening to this and you haven't seen Ferris Bueller,
Get on it.
Yeah, now's your chance. Like, do yourself a favor, watch Ferris Bueller. It's a great movie. You're not going to be upset about it. It is really fun looking back on a lot of those things, and even just talking with you right now. I mean, you were active in those bands in that circle at the same time that I was getting into and breaking into that stuff. I mean, if
Isn't
you were
that funny?
touring with MXPX, Sum 41, Real Big Fish, I've
Yeah.
seen some of those shows. Like, this is one of those
That's
where I wish I had that stuff, like the tickets still, so I could show you I was at one of those, because I know that I was. I mean, I saw Sum 41 was a big band for me when I was younger, and they were great.
Oh,
And
there we
I'm
okay. So let me tell you about them. So Fat Rex like, hey, do you guys want to open for? Do you guys want to play with Real Big Fish? Yeah, sure, whatever. And a band called Sum 41. Their EP wasn't even out yet. All killer, no filler. Is that what it was?
all killer, no filler.
Okay. So they say, okay, do you guys want? Oh, yeah, whatever, sure. This was the days of mp3.com. We go on mp3.com and look up Sum 41, and they had a song called. This isn't it, but like it's along the lines of like chillaxin. Like the title of the song was the catchphrase at the time. So we're like, and it sounded very Beastie Boysy, and
Yeah.
we're like, what the fuck? Oh, okay, yeah, sure, all right, whatever. God, I hope I'm saying that. I think I'm getting my bands confused. I am, and I'm sorry. I was I did another tour with Big Inch Band with a band called Mest.
Oh my God, I definitely remember Mest.
So that was the band. We checked out. It was a hip hop song. I can't, and we were like, oh no, it was us, Mest. Oh, I think this was on the MXPX. Like it was the second part of the tour.
That sounds about right. Mest and MXPX together.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that tracks.
the Mest thing, we didn't really get along with those guys. Different kind of scenes, I think.
Okay.
Sum 41, I embarrassed Derek Whibley. We played at the Catalyst, and we were all talking to people at buying merch and stuff. And this is when Dave, the guitar player,
Yeah.
was in the band still. He was the nicest one, the most personable one. He sold merch every night. He talked to fans every night.
Okay.
Anyway, so Derek was outstanding. We were both talking to people, and I was acting pretty foolish because I'd been drinking. And I picked him up like a kid, like a child. And I was kind of like this. I was like, yeah, because he's a small dude. And I was like this, and he was so pissed. And I remember I put him down. And he stormed off pretty quick. But yeah,
Wow.
you're gonna play with bands that you don't either click with or man. I played all those bands, those newer school punk. I played with a lot of them. What was that fucking show? Starting Line. I played with the Starting Line.
It's funny you mentioned the Starting Line today of all days, because I just got a text from my buddy earlier, because he's a waxhead too, and he texts me. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna blast him for a
Please.
minute. The most emoist album of all time, debut from the Starting Line, is available for pre-order on 1234 Go Records. And I immediately text him back. I was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not gonna buy that album. But it's just funny that you mentioned that today when my buddy was all excited. That's weird
pretty,
timing. That's great.
It was a one-off. It was we played with him in New Jersey. It was just one show, and we did not. It was an empty fucking hall, and I'm not empty. There were people in there, but it was just the acoustics were terrible. It was all wood floor, and there was something about that lead singer I just did not like. And maybe it was the emo aspect, the quote unquote emo aspect. I was not part of that scene. That the emo, the Vagrant Records, I guess, like that, the whole Vagrant Records thing. All those bands were coming up when I was playing with them, and to their credit, a lot of those bands did flipping amazing
big things. Yeah,
I mean, MXPX is still going.
I know.
I don't know how they're doing it, but lots of bands, I played a show with Lagwagon and Mammoth.
Nice.
But again, their crowd did not like us at all.
Oh, it's funny how that happens. Like, you get like some of the weirdest tour pairings sometimes, where you can just be on a bill, and like it might just be because you're friends with the other band and you guys want to go out together, but holy shit, sometimes those pairings are not good, and fans of one band do not like your band.
No, in fact, that's why we were so like reticent to go out with MXPX, because again, we did not sound like them.
Yeah.
But apparently they told Fat Mike that like they really liked our album.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, let me preface this by saying I did not work on that album. They recorded it. They did all the hard work. They needed another guitar player. Their guy couldn't do it. Corky and Joey knew me and they recommended me. I practiced with them and I joined the band.
I mean, that's great. I mean, that's how a lot of people end up in the bands that they're in.
Yeah, it was like a dream come true. Like,
oh yeah,
I remember. Yeah, I had to learn the songs on cassette, and I learned them by ear. All right, now you're on Fat Records. Go tour. Like, okay,
wow,
it was awesome. Yeah, they were already on Fat when I joined. So yeah, it's just great times.
Not bad. I mean, yeah, that's incredible.
But yeah, again, this was the unfortunately, that was my opening or intro into touring was this huge tour, great shows sometimes, huge bands. And then I start my own musical thing in like '08. And that's, just starting from the bottom and
oh yeah,
doing again shitty tours, but it was much more leisurely. We do 2 weeks or something like that, and that's it.
I mean, even 2 weeks is a good little while. I mean, that's a significant amount of time, especially when you're stuck in a van with a couple other dudes.
You said it, brother. It's not easy. It's not easy. You got to find the right dudes, and everyone's dreams are different,
right?
And goals and incentives. And my whole thing was my parents gave me $300 before I left, and they said good luck, and I said thank you. And again, I'm playing a new city to people I do not know, trying to get them to like our music. Not a tough job. If they don't like it, well, drink your sorrows away and you drive to a new city. And if they do like it, and then you make new friends once they do like it. And it was just the best. It was just the best fucking time. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah,
because it's tough and it's a draining thing on your body.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, we all know that just from going on like a regular vacation and even sleeping in a hotel bed for 4 nights, by the end of that 4th night, you're dying for your own bed.
You are done, yeah.
Now, if you extrapolate that onto a 2-week to 6-week even tour, where you have no guarantee of any bed. Oh yeah, your body it takes a toll, man.
Oh, there were nights I definitely would use my jacket as my pillow, or my backpack as a pillow, my jacket as a blanket, and I'd sleep under a dining room table. I like to sleep under things. It was like more cozy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there was something weird about it being like a little cave or something. Like it
was that, and it was like,
safer.
well, I know I won't get foot traffic going over me. So you're kind of protected in that capacity. But yeah, I mean, but again, it was just so exciting. It's like, I'm sleeping on a floor in a house in Omaha, Nebraska. This is incredible. Because why the fuck am I in Omaha, Nebraska? It was like the dream. I could not believe I was doing it. I still can't believe I do it. And yeah, I consider it a huge honor if anyone from out of town is like, dude, you got to come down here. I got to check out the new band. It's like, oh my God, hell yeah. If there's one person at that show, rad.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll be there. I just want to go play somewhere new.
Oh yeah. And so, yeah, it's fucking, yeah. I hate to say it, but I am a lifer.
Oh yeah.
Outside of that, every tour is paled in comparison.
Yeah, there's always something unique too about that first one. It can either make or break the entire thing for you. And I think for some of us, I mean, it definitely makes it where you're like, wow, this is amazing. This is trashy. This is fucked up. This is dirty, but oh my God, this is fun.
That's the thing, because you're complaining. You're like, God, look at this fucking dump. And you're so bitter. And then you like wake up and you're like, oh, dude, let's go drive to a fucking wherever. Let's go get some breakfast. Yeah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's already like your issues are already gone.
Yeah. You wake up in the morning and you're like, fuck, who else is hungry? We got to get to the next town. Let's roll.
And then you start talking shit about where you just stayed.
Yeah.
and the people that you met, like, every band should at least do 1 week. I mean, it's a bummer when bands don't do it, because it's just such an exciting time.
Oh yeah.
But equally, it takes effort to just get there, to just book a tour. That's not easy either.
Oh no, it's not easy. I mean, we can go all the way back to the beginning and it's not easy getting 4 or 5 people together enough times out of the week to create something like that, to even get to the point of booking a tour. I mean, it's a magical thing. It's crazy when it works out, and it's amazing when it works out.
Oh man, I mean, well, and because I'm even thinking of like just bands that have put out one album, but boy, like the magic that happened on that one album. Did you ever listen to this band, Junction 18?
I don't know if I did. It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't really know.
You probably have them on a comp. They were kind of considered like a post-hardcore emo, I think.
Okay.
They're like that.
Um,
I mean, I just
so, Todd, what's next up on your musical horizon?
so I'm currently in a band called Suburban Life, and that has been going well. It's just slow because we all have different schedules in the band.
Yeah,
And so meeting up can be a couple months here and there.
it's a
But
challenge.
oh yeah, yeah. But they've been they've adapted very well. It's a 3-piece, so it's me. I play guitar and sing, and then bass player Dave and the drummer Roy, who played in a band before or they still play in a band called Casuists,
Okay.
which is a different style. It's a lot more technical,
Okay.
and it's excellent musicianship. That's their band. My band drags them down, and they play more of a simplified pop punk kind of thing. And yeah, we have a 4-song EP available on all streaming services, and then we're going to have
Rad.
vinyl come out hopefully in time for Christmas, so everyone can send one to their friends and loved ones.
Yeah, that would be great. Are you guys going to do any sort of like show for the vinyl release or anything?
Yes. Hopefully, I mean, I hope to God we play another show before the year's over. Our last show was July 5th. And I hope we play another show. I have no dates right now.
Okay.
I'm writing new music right now. And yeah, that's it. I mean, otherwise, look at all my musical output online so I can get paid pennies annually.
Well, speaking of, where exactly can people listen to you so you can get those annual pennies?
So my bands are Gentlemen Prefer Blood was along with, I did that one for 10 years. There's 8 pieces of music, maybe, I don't know, records and 7 inches and stuff like that. And an old band I talked about on the whole tour, Big in Japan.
Yeah.
That's not my songwriting. It's Zach's songwriting. And he is a phenomenal songwriter. Good power pop rock group.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I listened to it and I believe thoroughly enjoyed it.
Of course.
He telepathically gave me 2 thumbs up. I felt it.
2 more right here.
Getting them right. And then Suburban Life. So Suburban Life, Gentlemen Prefer Blood, and Big in Japan. I don't make money from all of them, but they're all bands that I've worked with and have thoroughly enjoyed and performed with and all this. And I will be playing probably till I'm dead.
Awesome. That sounds great. Hopefully that is many years far in the future.
Well, thank you. You're so kind.
And lastly, man, how do we book you for birthday parties and quinceañeras? How can people find you?
If anyone wants to reach me, I am available primarily on Instagram. My Instagram moniker is TAWDBALL, Todd Ball.
The Todd Ball.
The misspelling is on purpose. Todd Ball was hacked, so that's the new spelling. And then my band, Suburban Life Music, is on Instagram. And those are the best ways to reach out. I also do graphic design, Todd Ball Designs. That's TODDBALL.
All right. Well, hot damn, Todd. That was a most wild ride. Thank you, Sofa King Much, for sharing some strange with us today. There you have it, folks. That was Todd Smailes. And man, was it a delight having you here.
Oh, thank you for having me. An absolute wonderful time talking with you and talking about the quote old days.
The old days.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back out there, though. I tell you what.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Stay tuned for more strange and unusual tales from tour. Thanks for listening to the Hesh Files.